What is happening, everybody? It's CJ here from Dream Diecast Cars, and today I'm going to be doing a review of this Ferrari 458 Italia made by Hot Wheels Elite. Now lately I have been getting a ton of suggestions on what diecast cars to do on the show, and in fact this was a suggestion that I got in the comments, and I'm just loving all the suggestions that I'm getting, so keep leaving them down in the comments below. Now we can move right along into this review, and as always here on Dream Diecast Cars, we're going to start with the front of this diecast car. And this being a 458 Italia, one of the first things you'll notice on this model are the lights. So let's move to that right away. So when you look at the lights, you'll notice that it's covered with a nice clear plastic, which replicates glass on a real one very nicely. Then you'll see all these tiny little LEDs up top, which look very good and realistic, and the main bulb down low, which also looks realistic. Then on the middle of this diecast car, you will see this Ferrari logo, which is just a sticker, but it is a very nice sticker with all the details being very clean, and it doesn't actually look like a sticker from far away. Then look below that and you will see yet another prancing horse, and this one is made out of a real metal and is sculpted perfectly. The next thing you'll notice are those fins that the 458 has, and those are replicated very nicely, and then behind that you will see some mesh, which is also replicated very nicely. And that should about cover all the main details of the front, so now we can move along to the side of this diecast car. One of the first things you'll notice on the side of this diecast car are the wheels, so let's take a look at them. Now to me these wheels actually seem kind of big, a little bit too big, but I'm not sure I can really say that as a complaint because I'm probably wrong. Hot Wheels Elite is a very good brand, they've never failed me before, and I'm sure these wheels are done precisely to scale. So then when you look closely at the wheels, you'll see that the tires are made out of a nice rubber material, and the rims are just made out of plastic, but they look very nice. You can see all the little nuts on the side, and then the Ferrari prancing horse in the middle, which looks great. And then you can see the brake disc moving through the calipers as the wheel moves. You'll also notice that the caliper says Ferrari on it. Another thing that you'll notice on the side of this diecast car is this Ferrari shield, which is a sticker just like the logo on the front, but just like the logo on the front, even though it's a sticker, it does look very nice. Then by the back wheels, you'll notice the Pininfarina logo, which is made out of a nice metally sticker, which looks very realistic. And now we can finally move on to the back of this diecast car. And of course, one of the first things you'll notice on the back are the lights, which are made out of a very nice clear plastic with the red clear on the outside and the white on the inside, and they are sculpted to look like the real ones. There is another metal prancing horse on the back similar to the one on the front, and up here you'll notice that it says Ferrari just like it would on the real car. However, this one seems off-center and a little tilted. Then look lower and you'll notice the very cool looking 458 Italia license plate, and you'll also notice these three silver plastic exhausts, which I don't really like very much because they look pretty cheap. Then there's some more mesh down here, which just like the rest of it is not perforated, however it does look very nice and almost looks perforated. Now with the back out of the way, we can move along onto the trunk of this diecast car, and for those of you who are thinking of buying one of these, here's a good way to open up the trunk. Kind of put your thumb by this area and you'll find a little hole, and you can open it right up easily. And when you look under here, you'll notice that there are some very good replications. I don't know if that's an actual word, but I'm saying it, around the outside, which look very nice. And it's kind of hard to see, but the trunk is covered in a felt, which makes it look very realistic, and it's sculpted just perfectly to the one on the real car. And finally, before we move right along into the interior, we'll take a look at the engine. Now, I'm going to start off by saying that I really like the way that Hot Wheels replicated this engine. Now, I want to show you something, and I'm sure it's pretty hard to see, but if you look really hard, you'll notice how much depth this engine actually has. And when you have the car in real life, it's easy to see, but it's just hard to notice on camera. It really looks great, and I love when model cars, and especially one that costs over $100 like this one, have that depth. You know, it just shows that this is really a serious model car for collectors, and it looks really nice. The engine uses a nice combination of metal and plastic in it, and it is just replicated spot on. But now we can finally move along to the biggest part of all expensive model cars. The interior. And I'm extremely happy to report that Hot Wheels Elite does not disappoint on this interior. Now let's start off by looking at the driver's side, and when you look, you'll see that it's very nice. When you look at the steering wheel, you'll see that it is just sculpted perfectly to the one on the real car, and all the little buttons on both sides are done perfectly. The dials in the back, and it's kind of hard to see with the steering wheel in the way, they're all done very nicely. The outsides are sculpted well, and you'll see the paddle shifters right here on both sides are made with a carbon fiber replica, which looks great, and these two air vents also are replicated with carbon fiber. There's felt that lines the ground, which is something that one really comes to expect in this caliber of diecast car. And this door sill right here is replicated nicely with a real metal, and it says Ferrari in it. The seats also have a lot of carbon fiber in them on the back, and they have the prancing horse on them, and since this is technically the Fernando Alonso Edition, it has his signature right below the prancing horse. And then when you look at the center console, there isn't too much, this being a 458. There are just a few buttons controlling the launch control and stuff of that nature. You'll also see a nice little 458 badge on the passenger side. So now with all that stuff out of the way, we can move along to the price and the ratings. Now usually this is a pretty straightforward part of the episode for me to do. I look at how the car is, I give it a rating, and I combine the price in with one of those ratings. However, on this episode, it's going to be a bit more complicated for me, and here's why. Basically, this diecast car has gotten dramatically more expensive as there are fewer and fewer of them left. Now, when I bought this model car, I got it for about $100, which was a pretty fair price at the time. That's what most of them were up for. However, there were only 5,000 of them made. And first off, I just want to say that 5,000 actually sounds like kind of a lot to me, but I guess a bunch of people wanted them and bought them up quickly. So right now, there aren't too many of them left. Basically, the price has skyrocketed with less of them out there. And really, right now, you can only find them for upwards of $200. In fact, I found some of them for even over $400. Now, because of that, what I'm going to do is, instead of the usual 2 ratings I give a diecast car at the end of each show, I'm going to give it 3 ratings. And I'll tell you what they are. Of course, it's going to be the usual rating without the price. That's assuming you have all the money in the world to spend on a model car, just rating it for what it is. The second one is going to be rating for about $100, and the next one is going to be rating for about $300. And before I do that, though, I just want to give a word of caution. Do not buy this model car. Buy the 458 Spider instead. And for me, that would not have been much of a problem if I didn't have these right now, because I actually, in real life, prefer the 458 Spider, but I'm going off on a tangent. Basically, what I want to say is, I can give the rating for $100, because usually that wouldn't be very reasonable, because I guess you could say that's what I bought it for, but you couldn't find it anymore. But I'm giving it that rating because you can find a 458 Spider, which, let's face it, is going to be almost exactly the same as this, just, you know, this is going to have a flat, not see-through engine cover, and it's going to be drop top. And you can find those for around $100. So now, finally to my ratings. And for my rating without the price, I'm going to give this model car an A-. I'm giving it that because it's just a great model car with very few little imperfections. My second rating is the rating if this diecast car were about $100. And that rating would be a solid A, because that's a good price. That's a little bit less than the average auto art, and this is definitely auto art quality. Then my third rating is the rating of this model car for about $200. And my rating for that would be about a B-, because that would be above like auto art territory. That would be, I guess not anymore with the MP4-12C and that stuff coming out for very expensive money. But that, you know, that's pretty expensive for a model car, and it's really not worth that much. It's a great model car, but it's not worth that much, so I've got to give it a B-. So that'll wrap up this show, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next Monday. Until then, goodbye, everyone.